Top 6 most controversial people in Kenya ever. Every nation has its legends, but only a few have figures who divide an entire country. In Kenya, the word controversial isn't just about headlines, but rather about land, power, unsolved murders and billion-shilling scandals. Number 1, Mike Sonko. Starting our list at number 1 is a flamboyant and unpredictable former governor of Nairobi, Mike Movie Sonko. His entire political career has been a spectacle. On one hand, he was the people's champion, using the Sonko rescue team to help the poor, connecting with the hustler narrative before it was even popular. On the other, his tenure as a governor was characterized by chaos, public outbursts, impeachment for gross misconduct, and high-profile corruption cases. He blurred the line between street-smart philanthropist and political rogue. In December 2019, Sonko was accused of extortion of 10 million Kenya shillings to facilitate payment to a software company while he was a governor of Nairobi. He was charged with abuse of office and conflict of interest. In 2025, the High Court ruled that Sonko has a case to answer in the 24 million graft case. Esther Arunga, former TV personality. At number 2, we step away from politics to the tragic figure of Esther Arunga. Once Kenya's brightest media star, celebrated news anchor with a promising career, her sudden fall from grace was a national trauma. Arunga's downfall was highly publicized personal tragedy that involved her entanglement with a controversial church, her complex marriage, legal issues, and the death of her son in Australia. Arunga was a popular and successful news anchor and media personality in Kenya until around 2009 to 2010, when her life took a drastic turn after she became involved with the controversial Finger of God Church, founded by Joseph Hellon and Quincy Timberlake. She subsequently married Quincy Timberlake in 2010 and broke off her engagement with her former fiancé. The couple, along with Hellon, also ventured into politics, forming the unconventional Placenta Party and facing legal troubles in Kenya. Facing public scrutiny and claiming political persecution, the couple relocated to Australia. The most tragic event occurred in 2014 when their 3-year-old son, Sinclair Timberlake, died from a blunt force trauma to the abdomen at their home. Quincy Timberlake was charged with the murder of the child. Esther Arunga was subsequently charged as an accessory to murder after the fact for lying to the police about the circumstances of her son's death to protect her husband. In July 2019, the Australian court sentenced Arunga to a 10-month prison term but immediately released her on parole, acknowledging her vulnerable situation and the trauma she experienced. The judge noted she was in shock and grieving when she initially lied to authorities. Since then, Arunga has lived a private life in Australia. She has rebuilt her life qualifying and working as a barrister and solicitor in New South Wales. Reports suggest she is involved in community service and mentoring programs, focusing on her recovery and rehabilitation, away from the media spotlight. Pastor James Ng'ang'a, controversial preacher. Pastor James Ng'ang'a of the Neno Evangelism Center, his controversy stems from his bizarre and often threatening on-air sermons, accusation of blasphemy, and a series of serious legal issues. This includes a high-profile 2015 case where he was accused of causing death by dangerous driving and attempting to cover up. He embodies the controversial side of modern Kenyan religion, where huge wealth and influence meet intense public scrutiny. Gang rape confession video. The confession sparked public outrage and led to calls for his arrest and an investigation by authorities like the Directorate of Criminal Investigations. He later apologized and claimed the statements were part of his testimony about his past time in prison, not an actual admission of an unprosecuted crime. In July 2015, a fatal head-on collision occurred that killed a woman named Mercy Njeri. There were strong allegations that Pastor Ng'ang'a was driving the vehicle that caused the accident and subsequently tried to cover it up, with another individual representing himself as the driver. A social media campaign prompted police to investigate the cover-up claims. Ng'ang'a was charged with causing death by dangerous driving, giving false information, and conspiring to defeat justice. He was later acquitted of the charges, but the acquittal was appealed by the Directorate of Public Prosecutions. The current President William Samoei Ruto. His political journey is arguably the most dramatic in recent history. His controversy is multifaceted. It includes being indicted and later cleared by the ICC for his role in the 2007-2008 post-election violence and the long history of accusations surrounding his accusations of land and wealth. Yet, he masterfully flipped the narrative, presenting himself as the hustler fighting the dynasties. He is a figure who has constantly thrived in controversy, making him one of the most polarizing presidents the nation has ever seen. Ruto was accused of planning and organizing crimes against supporters of President Kibaki's Party of National Unity. He was charged with 3 counts of crimes against humanity, 1 for murder, 1 for the forcibly transfer of population, and 1 for persecution. First allegation. KPC Ngong Forest Land Scandal 204. Ruto was charged with defrauding the Kenya Pipeline Company of 272 million Kenya shillings. He was acquitted in 2011 for lack of evidence, and the police reopened investigation in 2020 did not lead to any conviction. May scandal in 2009. Western Hotel, Kimarere and Arol Dam scandals. Controversies in his presidency. 2022 to present, his administration has faced a number of significant corruption allegations. Edible oils procurement deals that sought taxpayers' loss reportedly 6.6 billion. The KEMSA was involved in irregularities concerning 3.7 billion tender for the supply of treated mosquito nets, leading to the dismissal of several top officials. Fake fertilizer programs. The Ministry of Agriculture distributed thousands of bags of fake subsidized fertilizer to farmers across the country, a scandal estimated to be worth 209 million shillings. E-citizen irregularities, allegations of bribery in parliament, among others. Ruto has adopted a strong public stand against corruption, vowing to arrest and prosecute those involved. However, critics argue that his anti-graft war lacks credibility, as he is involved in some of them, but it's just allegations. And normally they always fail because he always proved them wrong. Next, Daniel Toroitich Moi. For nearly a quarter of a century, Daniel Toroitich Arap Moi ruled Kenya, earning him the number 2 spot. His era, known as the Nyayo regime, was defined by single-party authoritarian rule, fear, state of brutality. His major controversies include the use of infamous Nyayo House torture chambers to silence political opponents, the complete stifling of democratic freedoms, and the massive Golden Bag International scandal, one of the world's biggest financial frauds, which nearly crippled the Kenyan economy. Moi's legacy is the definitive controversy of an entire generation, the symbol of a state that weaponized fear to maintain power. Newspapers and news reports have frequently linked the government of former President Arap Moi and individuals within it, including his son Jonathan Moi and high-ranking Minister Nicholas Biwott, to the murders of British tourist Julie Ward and Foreign Minister Robert Ouko. The cover-up. Moi's administration was accused of hindering the investigation, disbanding an independent commission, and attempting to influence Ouko's family to halt inquiries. Nicholas Biwott, the total man. He was a powerful shadow in the Daniel Arap Moi era. Nicholas Biwott, totally known as the total man. Biwott was a man whose influence was whispered about more than it was publicly seen. His controversies tied directly to the murky politics and state corruption of his time. Most notably, his persistent link to the still unsolved 1990 murder of Foreign Affairs Minister Dr. Robert Ouko. Though he was never charged, the public perception of his rumored power made him one of the Kenya's most feared and secretive figures. Nicholas Biwott was involved in several major controversies, most notably his alleged connection to the 1990 murder of Robert Ouko. Other controversies include his alleged role in corruption scandals like the Golden Bag scam and other deals, which are cited as the source of his vast wealth and influence during the Moi's regime. He also faced allegations of intimidation, such as when his political opponent allegedly stepped aside for him. Thanks for watching, everyone. Peace.